Hey there, everybody, and welcome to Level Fox Presents the Showdown, powered by ACGL, brought to you by the City of Cape Town, and sponsored by Celsi. We're excited to bring you this evening's actions of the second qualifier, and I'm joined by the delightful gentleman himself, Altruism. How are you doing?
I'm wonderful. I like that intro. Delightful gentleman. That's the first time, and I think that one's going to stick. That one's got to go in a bio somewhere. You're just such a wizard with words. We're getting to see the Wizards of Rocket League. 2 tickets left up for that LAN in Cape Town, my friend.
That LAN in Cape Town, we can't wait. We're getting ourselves ready, getting our tinkies also ready to get that one going, so can't wait. Hey, you've got yours on that side. You guys do know the takeover is taking place right now. Some good product placement is what we like to see, but for today, it's all about can the placement of the ball end up in the back of the net for these 3 teams that remain. It is going to be a clash of titans in many ways, and maybe of some unexpected rises from essentially the lower brackets to make it all their way here today. Now, Alt, you're going to be there next week in Cape Town. There's essentially going to be 25,000 Rand in cash up for grabs. Huge prize.
Huge prize. Huge prize. I mean, this is fantastic. The fact that Rocket League has gotten to this point where these guys are starting to actually earn some proper cash. Organizations are getting involved and starting to back players. Rocket League is being recognized as a top esports in South Africa. And with that comes these growing talents, these players, these teams that are starting to develop real skills, get some real rivalries going. You know, for so long it's been dominated by just Orlando Pirates XD at the top there, just dominating the scene for years, still sitting as an incredible team. Bravado has closed that gap, though. Now we've got 2 titans sitting at the top, and that's what sets it up, interestingly enough, for the second qualifier. Now we're fighting with the rest of the pack. In that middle of the pack, there's a bit of distance between Bravado and Pirates and the rest of them. This next section, though, is so tightly fought.
It is going to be a tightly fought competition, especially here today. We've been monitoring the brackets quite specifically, and that's something that I found rather interesting from AIPX side of things, taking on Out of Retirement. Both of them had huge clashes before they got into this one. ATK went up against AIPX in the winners bracket semi-final, and AIPX came out on top 2-0. Then Out of Retirement took on the new acquisition from DNMK Esports and found themselves winning that one 2-1. So a big game for our winners bracket final to kick things off tonight.
Yeah, that's the thing, is now you've got so many teams sitting in that upper bracket, or in that top echelon of teams in South Africa. You know, DNMK, previously known as Atomic, picking up WeCasper, Yopego, Echo, a really strong team that has been sitting second, third in a lot of the big tournaments recently. You know, RLCS fever is upon us, and so we've got a lot of Rocket League action for these guys to play it out. So we're really starting to get to see where these teams are ranking out consistently. And, you know, DNMK, really tough opposition, but being able to knock them down and, in fact, out of the tournament when they went down 2-0 against Lost Legion Giants just shows Lost Legion came out of RLCS ranked about number 3, did end up losing to ATK. ATK is out of this tournament. And so from, you know, from 3rd position down to 6th, even 7th potentially in this tournament, we whittled it down to these top 3.
Yeah, the top 3 indeed. Starting with our top 2 of this, the second qualifier. It's AIPX taking on Out of Retirement, a best of 5 series. It's time to kick things off, and it does look like we're going to get to an explosive start at least, Mike.
Oh, this is exactly what I expect from this old style of play. Out of Retirement, the group of previously retired, literally, professionals. They dominated the South African scene, you know, coming in very highly ranked, good consistent play, and you know, the last real crew who went to LANs coming in here with Snoozy, Mr. Low, and Lion ZA. Pornflakes, I think, is also on this team, and, you know, one of those old stalwarts coming up against the much newer and much faster growing, previously Team Auglis, AIPX, made up Risen Eclipse, Friction, and Lackstar.
All right, so taking a look at the action, it is going to be a best of 5 when it comes down to our finals of the series. All the teams taking place in the second qualifier have been playing best of 3 up until this point. When it does come down to those finals in Cape Town, we're going to be looking at best of 7 and single elimination, but it does look a huge save coming out there from Lackstar.
Lackstar being able to pinch that out, needed both of those touches, and then turns it around in some dangerous position. Risen Eclipse, very mechanically talented player, gets too hard of a touch on that to be able to follow it up. And just that chaotic energy from these two teams. Look at the pass coming down here. Mr. Low looking for it, and This is a classic old school mechanic there. Just get it to the other player and he gets a nice shot in the back line. Snoozy going to set it up. Friction,
So-
but both of them just, fighting it out, feeling it out. That's what game one's all about.
I feel like I see quite a few familiar names in this outer retirement squad from way back when in Rocket League, even potentially before we had our own servers, or even before the game was free to play.
Oh, yeah.
So some big names in their own right, and ones that I think, should they go all the way to that LAN finale, can bring that consistency of LAN environment into their game.
It is a different ball game in the most literal sense when you get to LAN environments. You've got different pressures, different things to think about. And the way that these players match up, I think when it comes down to people who've got decent LAN experience, you got to think Orlando Pirates, maybe a couple of the members of Bravado. But, no one really, since the likes of Elf, Papa Capes, people like that who really came into the scene, Nyanfo, even Snowy's got some of that experience at a lot of the LANs. And a lot of these new players, it might be an interesting experience to see how they come out. And
Absolutely.
If Outer Retirement can get there, they may have an edge because of that.
And that's the thing, is that LAN environment is going to be a game changer. And I can't wait to be able to see it. And one thing, talking about the LAN, just as we say that Mr. Low gets the goal and Outer Retirement taking the lead at the 2 minutes 17 seconds. A great pin off of the wall, and just found himself in a great position to be able to place that just above the central defender.
Yeah, it's been chaotic in both of the back lines for a while, and there's been, waves of attacks. That one was such a nice pinch, which turned the pressure way faster than AIPX was expecting, and just opened up that opportunity. Now's a chance for a goal the other way, though. Both of Out of Retirement's players meeting that very high up in the air. Friction looking to set something up, but cut down nicely at the midfield, keeps the possession going the way of Out of Retirement. And, we talk about getting to that LAN environment and how well you do at it, but there is a step there already. You got to get there before you can start worrying about if you're going to have the advantage once you're there. Out of Retirement versus AIPX, the winner of this game does secure themselves a ticket.
Yeah. And that's huge. That's huge. What a relief that will be, falling into that losers bracket. I mean, we've seen how teams have just faltered just at the last. And when it comes down to, just by the way, I do see a comment coming in that AIPX best pronounces Apex. So we'll try our best from a commentary side of things to be able to keep it as that.
Appreciate
But
that.
mentioning one of the things that will be changing for the LAN environment, I believe we've got Mr. Papa Capes will be joining you in the commentary booth.
We mentioned him when we were talking about the classic OGs, the original names, the last LAN veterans still left in the South African scene, and Papa Capes is definitely one of those. We'll wait. It's Lackstar coming in for this one. Had to pause as that one came out of the corner. Such a nice pick off here from Friction. Gets that touch, pushed that far enough away from Mr. Low that he can't reach it, and above Mr. Lion there. Let's Lackstar come in, and with a minute left on the board, we have leveled up our first game, my friend.
Tight start to kick off proceedings with 1 minute left on the clock. It looks like overtime looms if one of these teams can't break the deadlock. At the moment, Lackstar has definitely been standing out on his side of things. When it comes down to the Outer Retirement team, is there anybody that you kind of see as being their key ball player?
Each person here plays a different role. Mr. Low is probably the most mechanically sound player. Used to play with the Pop-Up Capes that we are putting up so much, I must admit. And such a nice segue that, I must admit.
Yeah.
That Mr. Low was the old school styles of aggressive plays. He's going to go into your backline. He's going to get aggressive demos that is just going to make you very discoordinated. And that really sets up a really nice follow-up. And then on the other side, you got Lion ZA, who's constantly in the back lines, being able to push things out and keep the back lines safe. And so far, been doing a good job of it. Might create something here. Last 4 seconds. Snoozy takes the shot.
Opportunity.
And sinks it in the last 2 seconds.
Oh, Snoozy, you absolute beaut, finds the path, and as we can see from a defensive position, Lion left to be a spectator on that line. 2 seconds left to try and make a move as Out of Retirement take themselves out of a draw and into a leading position.
Big plays there. It's these aggressive 1-2s, a single movement, a single dunk, a single pinch that just gets that possession towards the way of Out of Retirement, puts the pressure on the Apex backline. And Lackstar, Friction, Risen Eclipse, players who are still new to the game, don't always know how to clear out the ball or deal with insurmountable pressure. It sometimes feels like that these old school teams can pull in. And, that's reflected in the Orlando Pirates XD, etc. But out of retirement, looking strong, getting solid plays, not relying on any sort of big mechanics or anything like that, and come out with the one goal game.
Literally, it's a shot difference. Taking a look at the stats on the scoreboard, it is 7 shots from out of retirement to 6 from Apex, and that one shot being the clinical difference between the two teams. And you could see some pressure being built here early on. Ball touches altogether also going in possession favor of out of retirement. So you could argue deserved winners on that front. However, when it comes down to game number 2, we're going to have to wait and see who's going to be able to come out on top. And it doesn't look like we're going to wait a second longer as the teams are ready on either side. And we will be able to get ourselves set to go. Is it Apex? Is it out of retirement? Just taking a look at... I'm going to have a little bit of a look at the vote while Mike, you kick off from your way.
Yeah, I must admit, at this stage, I think it's too close to call. I'm very interested to see what our audience believes and how well you guys think you know the South African scene. And if you can predict it the whole way through this evening's proceedings, I give you a lot of credit because it's such a close competition. So far, Apex going down, but looking at that pressure coming straight back. Laxdar gets the second touch, but Mr. Low is there with the save. Keeps out of retirement, out of a defensive position. Snoozy looking to cut back in now. A bit of a slow down play. Lion looking for one touch. Gets one over, but Laxdar shuts down the aggressive play. And straight away, both teams having an attack. And I believe this is what we're going to see from these two teams throughout this best of 5. Oh, the shots! Friction!
What a shot from afar. Puts it over the top, and Friction getting himself into a fantastic position here just to take this one. Rises up above, chips it over the top. Nobody's going to be able to deal with that. Apex come out guns blazing. Just to revert back on our poll, which has around about 50 votes at this point in time. We've got Apex are the second favorites to be able to win here today, this total series overall, with Lost Legion actually in the lead that waits in the losers bracket final, so a little bit ironic on that side. Whereas you guys don't seem to have too much faith in out of retirement, so we'll have to wait and see. They do have the 1-0 lead if you're just joining us here today, ladies and gentlemen, but right now it is going to be out of retirement on the push, on towards the line. And they get themselves out of a sticky situation, does Apex defensively.
Yeah, that was dangerous for a while. It's actually not over. Friction has flipped the wrong way. Snoozy gets the dunk. It's going high. Friction has to get another shot. Has to get it past Mr. Low. He's in an awkward position backwards, beating that ball. Does manage to pinch it up off Laxdar, but more favorably towards Apex, I would say, as it drops down. Risen Eclipse not going to meet this. Lions it, the stalwart in the back line pushes down a little bit further. Friction pushes it off to Laxdar. Laxdar just decides to tap out halfway through. It's Mr. Low going high, ironically enough. Friction putting it off to the backboard. Nice meet there by Snoozy to send it all the way down. Laxdar going to try for the next wave attack, and this is starting to drain the resource of out of retirement. Mr. Low picks up the boost in the middle. Snoozy, the last man back. Mr. Low, in fact, meets it going the wrong way. Risen Eclipse is up. Could get a touch. Instead, Laxdar can even meet it off the corner. Lots of pressure currently on out of retirement, and they're just not able to get it out of their backyard.
I love how you put that, just draining the resources. If you retain that position inside your opposition's half, you're going to avoid them of being able to pick up regular boosts, and that just means that you're going to be, like you said, drained of those resources. So for right now, we head over towards the defensive line of Apex as out of retirement, try to get themselves out of a predicament here. Oh, it's a huge pass on the side. Did he prevent a goal from his own teammate there?
Yeah, that was 100% a save. Oh. It was going in and managed to hit the back of the car, and you just crying, going for a defensive play, going for an offset bump or demo play, and you just end up costing your team what could have been the one goal that you got in this. It was such a close previous series. Lion now trying to hand it off backwards because he's going to find Mr. Low, who's got a touch. He's going to find the backboard. Lions in the wrong position though, can't carry that angle back, and Laxdar going to push it up just as high as Snoozy, but he sent it behind Mr. Low. And Apex suddenly back on the attack. That could have been the one and only opportunity for out of retirement. Still 2 minutes left though.
That was a huge opportunity. They do manage to get a pinch to push this one all the way up to the Apex defensive line. It does go toward the halfway, so we're going to have to keep in mind who is this going to essentially fall on, as it is going to be out of retirement, out of position, out of placement. It goes up against the backboard over the top. And the follow-up not going to be able to connect. They get out of that one unscathed.
I like that from Apex. They really did actually throw a decent amount of resources. There were 2 players going up nice and early for that ball, but they didn't want to dedicate the 3rd player. They know they've got the 1 goal advantage, and so you don't risk that on a low risk, high risk, high reward play. You know, yeah, you want to get that second goal, but you can do it slower. So far, you've been able to push out of retirement. So far, you've been able to hinder their progress, and now you can start building up better opportunities, great opportunities. Risen Eclipse going to put that shot just on the crossbar.
Slaps the crossbar, and unfortunately with 1 minute left to go, we still don't have a defined leader just yet. Out of retirement, just 1 goal behind as Apex keeping possession, retaining it, keeping this. I think you saw the flight there, but unfortunately for him, not being able to connect as Mr. Low falls a little bit short. However, now out of retirement on the defensive side.
Oh, Mr. Low actually did get a touch on that, and it would have been such a good opportunity, but just doesn't manage to do anything. Wastes more time, 30 seconds left on the clock. Apex going to be very comfortable considering they're pushing forward. Snooze might have done something really sneaky here. Has got a one-on-one versus Friction. Mr. Low going to be there for the touch, doesn't get it. Lion also lets the ball roll over the top of them, and as Friction takes the counter-attack back, has that extra touch, gets the dunk down. Risen Eclipse going to exert more pressure and tick down the clock. 1 goal, 1 own save could be the difference in this game. 6 seconds left. Mr. Low going to try and meet this in the air. Doesn't go for it. Risen Eclipse not going to go for it either. Lion takes a shot. Black Star saves.
What a save in the closing seconds, as it's going to be Apex that comes out on top to bring this down to 1 apiece in total round count. You can see the switch around here in terms of total shots being taken. Having a little bit of a look at quick math, it's 7-7. However, when it comes down to possession altogether, very, very closely fought between both of these teams.
Can you point out the one amazing statistic, though, is though even though Apex won, they had to save 5 shots versus the 2 saves of out of retirement. It seemed like Apex had all the pressure, they had all the possession, they were cramping up that out of retirement back line, but yet they never seemed to get the shots in. I mean, they got 2 saves and 1 goal. So, you know, in total, the shots balance out, but the pressure somehow out of retirement, when they can break away, looking so dangerous on that counter attack and taking the fight back to Apex. They did it once, they missed it out by a save of their own player. That's going to be haunting for them. Still, level series.
Level series, and this is what we love to see, ladies and gentlemen. No matter what, we're still got around about, I think, 3 games to go, potentially 2 if there is a run-out winner. But things as we are tied up at 2 apiece, or rather 1 apiece, tied up after 2 games. We'll go to game number 3 and get ready for Apex versus Out of Retirement. I want to find out from you in the chat, who are you backing? On top of the scoreboard, just to note, ladies and gentlemen, it is Apex with 1 and Out of Retirement with 1. I'm sure our production will take care of that shortly, but we're back in it. Mike, this is the Rocket League that we love to see.
Nick, I've got to ask you, for someone who hasn't been super familiar with the South African scene throughout all of its stages, you know, there's a sudden boom here that has come out of nowhere. How do you feel about these 2 teams, and do you have a favorite yet in terms of their play style or in terms of their pressure making, the team that you think is going to win?
Well, at this point in time, it is too tough to call. Looking at those statistics alone, it seems like every single time we go back to the scoreboard scene, it is tied up at basically 50-50 in total stats. It's really going to come down to those clinical moments. And if I had to bargain up against who that might go to, I'd probably say Out of Retirement. But who knows? My predictions have been wrong in the past, but if I had to be a betting man, it would be with them.
Oh, Out of Retirement just escaped by the skin of their teeth. Open net. Blackstar coming in with the demo. Some bump plays getting involved there, and then just giving it away, pushing the shot wide on the top right-hand side. Out of Retirement managed to hold on to 0-0, somehow breathing heavily right now. And your favorite team, and just from nostalgia's point, they're probably my favorite team too, because I would love to see what these really wise players. Ooh! Risen Eclipse has to duck out of the way to avoid the same mistake, and manages to just get out of the way, let Risen Eclipse and Friction work their magic, and they come out. Apex getting denied previously does take the 1-goal lead, and this could be a turn in momentum.
Pretty much all of the goals in this series thus far has come off of backboards being hit and players just there on the rebound, making sure that they're ready and active for that follow-up and predicting. Oh, it looks like immediately Risen Eclipse rises up to eclipse his opposition down and doubles their lead from 1 to 2-0. So, hey, soon as we started saying we're backing or betting on Out of Retirement, Apex says, no, 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 don't rule us out.
Man, this team has realized that they've got some pace here. The old fuddy-duddies are maybe just not as fast up to these balls, not as mechanically sound when it comes to these delicate touches. And look at this, early jump comes up from Friction. This is an Apex team that's playing with confidence. Is there going to be someone, Lackstar, going to be reading off the backboard, gets the one touch. It's not out of danger yet. He would have liked at least a little bit of touch down to his teammates. But again, it's Apex starting to crowd it out. And I really like this play coming from them. Out of retirement, there is a strong team. They are dealing with this well. They're putting solid long clears through. But the rotation and speed from Apex just means there's always someone back.
Yeah, and at the moment it's going to be Apex's defensive line that will get pressed here. A lot of boost still in the back pockets of this Outer Retirement team, but it gets put over the top, and to be able to defend just in time, as it does look like momentum shifts up against the Outer Retirement team. They are left to try again.
Nice bit of play there from Snoozy. Manages to deny 2 of the shots. The passing play just gives it across to Out of Retirement. This could be a big play. They've got everyone in the back. Snoozy's going to push it across. Lackstar, that's not a good pass. The shot comes in. Mr. Lowe sinks it as it comes popping back towards the center. Snoozy keeping that pressure going. And Lackstar may have been better served to just let that trickle around the outside.
Outer Retirement gives them the first half and says, you know what, we'll take the second half, as they kick things off at the 2 minute 30 seconds. We've got a game on our hands here between these two, and neither one wants to relent. They both want to be seen at that final in Cape Town, ladies and gentlemen. 25,000 Rand and guaranteed prize pool on the line if you qualify for the top 4.
And that's the thing, is this is just our first series. Let's remember, this is game 3 of a long night's worth of Rocket League. This is the upper bracket finals. Hold the shot, Snoozy! Gonna push it wide. This is the upper bracket finals, ladies and gentlemen. This is just game 3. Both these teams will still be in this tournament. The double touch. Lion not being able to get it. Although, Snoozy, let's just stop talking about the upper bracket for now, because it seems like Out of Retirement's not out of their minds yet, not out of the woods for Apex. As we see shot after shot starting to come, and that's a good pass across. Friction gonna try to do something. Lions up for a second touch, gets it off the backboard. Shot from Mr. Lowe!
Huge! And that aggressive play, time and time after again, really whittled down the resources from Apex. I was keeping an eye on the boost of every one of those players. They were out. They had nothing left in the cans, and Out of Retirement made the most out of it.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that's why I was starting to talk about it, because it just seemed like Out of Retirement was almost baiting things back. They were just managing their resources, cycling it out, making sure they waited for the boost pads to go down. But the counter of attack, sudden aggression coming out here, a beautiful touch across here from Risen Eclipse, finds Friction, who's pushed up forwards, and the redirect from the Season 2 Grand Champ. 4 Grand Champs on the field, and you can see the level of play that brings about.
What a pass and what a placement shot. The finesse of it all, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we love to see. And at the moment, Out of Retirement bursts up onto their opposition half. And it does look like this one still, once again, can go either way. I keep on saying that because it's the truth, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, it is going to be Out of Retirement working up the right-hand side. It's a huge potential opportunity. But the defensive play comes up there from Risen Eclipse.
Oh, massive play. Oh, dunk comes out. Lion's going to try for the second play. Actually does knock him out. And Mr. Lowe coming through a second man over the top. Such aggressive play by the old school stars. Look at this. Risen Eclipse setting it up, but I don't know if he would have been able to do anything about that anyway. Mr. Lowe, and there's your backboard that you were talking about previously.
Yep. It has come into play once again, and we go down to 60 seconds remaining of game number 3. It is tied up, ladies and gentlemen, if you just joined us, at 1 apiece. Our scoreboard needs to be updated on the top side production, if you guys can have a look at that. But for right now, I can understand why they might have missed it, because the action on screen has been absolutely relentless. We're down to 42 seconds. 3-3. We're getting some demos even coming in here, as it's going to be, good defensive play coming in from Apex.
Snoozy tries for something. Lions up actually very quickly, gets a nice touch. This is coming careering down towards Risen Eclipse. This is going to manage to find Friction, so it's going to set Mr. Lowe up. Mr. Lowe talked about his mechanical skills, goes for the air dribble, gets it over 1, over 2, forces Lackstar into a difficult save. Lion, can he get the backboard touch? Gets a bad first touch and opens up the counterattack. Lockstar's going long. He's beaten 2. Snoozy coming around the last 10 seconds countdown. Snoozy going for that shot. The demo comes out. Lackstar takes out Mr. Lowe and renders the venom of Apex a little bit less potent. And so we are going to go into an overtime.
OT is where we head to, and it is the sudden death. Remember, a 1 goal will take the game here, but it is still a best out of 5 tied up at 1 apiece. Oh, the ball gets chipped up over the top. We mentioned that backboard time and time again. It fell dangerously, but they get himself out of a pickly situation.
Still Lion turning it around, gets it very high up. Friction not going to be able to get a great pass. That's actually a beautiful backwards touch. Sets up Snoozy, gets it high, takes the demo, but the shot is wide there. Lion's gone all the way back, can't now close the distance in time. Friction going to turn around. Here comes some mechanical skills. Gets one touch. Risen Eclipse was looking for that. Blackstar going to maintain the pressure. Lion, though, doesn't get this out. Snoozy going to be there, and Mr. Low opens up the back line. In fact, Risen Eclipse just spawning out. Going to be faked into the 50. Lion setting up the very high ball. Here comes Mr. Low with the shot and the goal!
Oh, Mr. Low, you absolute beauty. Rises up to nail it down. Showing that veteran play time and time again. And perfect placement as it's out of retirement that take game number 3 and take the lead in this series.
Yeah, it's not always the flip resets that you need to practice for 3,000 hours. It's sometimes just that fast aerial. Mr. Low consistently up into the air so quickly, getting 9 shots and solo carrying his team with the 4 goals. To be fair, assisted in every single one of those, but that just pulling up that job of playmaker, get the goal in the back of the net, find that one touch that separates us from Apex, and being able to succumb as Apex now goes down to game point.
Game point indeed, and this is where we separate the two teams and potentially find, I guess, lost waiting. Who are they going to try gobble up of these two teams that fall down? Apex teetering on the edge at the moment. All it's going to take is out of retirement to knock them back. Or does Apex have what it takes to fight resiliently, to come back in this game number 4, to go to that, I guess, the trial of death in that game number 5?
You know, the scary thing is, as Lost Legion Esports waiting in that low bracket, I don't know who I would want to come down. I don't know who I would say is the weaker team between these two. And I think whoever drops down has certainly proved themselves a valiant competitor coming into that low bracket finals and trying to get back into that Cape Town trip, back into that upper bracket finals. And it's out of retirement, starting us off aggressively yet again, looking for these touches. That's a little bit of a misplay. Laxtar doesn't have the boost to do a lot with this, just going to try and find something, backed up by Friction, and the bumps are coming in relentlessly from both these sides. Risen Eclipse going to try and do his best. Mr. Low impression, it goes up high, but comes out impotently from that, and Laxtar even gets baited into this one. Friction going to have to worry. This is going to be a long clear. Mr. Low's up, coming across the goals, gets a nice touchdown. There might be something there, but no one wants to challenge Risen Eclipse. Instead, the slow and patient play of the old-timers.
All right, so impatient play from the old-timers versus this resilient Apex squad that will keep testing them at every occasion. At the moment, out of retirement on the defensive side of things, it only looks like Mr. Low is without boost at this point in time, as the players going to get themselves out of this defensive position and into a bit more of an offensive strike, as out of retirement try to push this one up against the side. Good defensive play being shown on the other end.
Well, nice touch from Friction, actually sets it up. Lion, you got to do something.
Ooh.
Manages to deny the shot and pitches it towards the side there. Really nice counter-attack coming out of Apex, and that's the proficiency of their side. If you give them a one-on-one, you give them a bit of space to get an air dribble or some nice mechanical plays going, they really can do it, and you can see Friction proving that right now. Pushes into, goes faster to, and sets it up so beautifully for Laxtar to charge in behind.
That's what we like to see. Now Apex from their side of things coming off on the strong foot. They lost a little bit of momentum previously, but currently looking in a position to be able to take this. Ladies and gentlemen, the scores currently, it is out of retirement on 2 to Apex 1 in terms of total match scores. So out of retirement just need one more game to be able to take it. However, Apex fighting back.
They are fighting back with a vengeance. Laxtar not afraid to get involved. And what's amazing to me is, we're out of retirement, I would say you got Lion, who, ironically enough, making a push up the side here, is quite a stalwart defender. May have swapped that out for Snoozy. But both these teams have kind of abandoned that old school mentality. Out of retirement, even though when they last played, there was almost a definite playmaker role, one exceptionally mechanically skilled player who could go into the front lines and get an overlap And Snoozy gonna somehow roll this right around all three Apex players out of the corner there and gets the extra touch himself. A sneaky little play that no one was expecting.
Caught everybody seemingly off guard there, just bouncing up against the back. No one's going for this. Quick, I'll make a quick little dart and gets the goal. And out of retirement, making the most of the situation at the moment, staring down. Only one game will take them through with a guaranteed placement in those finals. Then it's all about seed order. But right now, Apex are trying to fight their way forward with this potential approach. And no, it clashes up against the top of the bar.
A really nice touch there. It's so close. So many attempts so far in this game. We've seen that crossbar coming in the pivotal factor. And so far, Mr. Low now going to try and make up an attempt, but both these teams being separated by just the crossbar in both these games so far. Really nice touch over the top, but Risen Eclipse is not done yet. Gets one touch, looking for the backboard, and sinks it in. The slow, patient, floating play pays off.
Look at this demo also coming in off of the line. Boom, get out of my way. Get out of my teammates' way. And they score a goal. I love that play coming in from Apex. That's what you love to see. Was that friction?
Yeah, I think so. Just pushing across there, and when there's friction, there's fire, my friend, because it actually separated off the last defender. I mean, Out of Retirement had all three players effectively in the net, and two of them covered a huge area, but that demo opened up the smallest window and followed up by a beautifully paced goal there. Huge combo play coming out from Apex, and they ironically are the ones that are looking the hottest.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, is Out of Retirement seemingly caught just ball watching, and didn't end up watching the player coming through to take them out. So for right now, Apex on the front foot too. It does look like this one will drift harmlessly across the goal line. And it does go to give an opportunity for Out of Retirement to get out of their half and into a potential shooting opportunity.
Snoozy actually had that. If Snoozy could have made that shot, a difficult shot, it's going to leave it up to Mr. Low, a proficient playmaker who's been scoring goals like a prodigy tonight, at least in the last game, but a consistently good player for this team. And talked about how he was going to have to lead the charge. Well, they got to put another one on his shoulders, it seems, as he needs to get set up in the center. Snoozy being such a good playmaker, and Mr. Low's waiting there. Instead, going to hand off to Lion, but dunked down by friction takes us into the last and final minute.
Last and final minutes, and this is Apex's game to lose here. I mean, they're in the driving seat. They've got 50 seconds on the clock. They need to just play this cool, calm, and collected to be able to guarantee themselves to go to that game number 5. We're just going to have to wait and see, as Out of Retirement won't let them get out of this position too easily. As it is going to be Out of Retirement, it's Lion that roars in front and gets the goal.
Somehow, Out of Retirement dived into their first waves of attack, but then came back and reinforced and pinched and just constantly actually cramped up Apex. And eventually that lovely dunk, we've said it before, it comes off a dunk, it comes off a good pinch, just some sudden burst of pace that while Apex is looking to push forward, while they're trying to set up their long, well-constructed attacks, Out of Retirement turns the pressure around and pulls it back with 30 seconds left to go. And Lackstar trying for something here. Gets one touch, get two touch. Has to be an outlier, beats outlier. Lackstar and 3 touches in a row just picks apart Out of Retirement.
2. And then the follow-up 3rd, just doing it himself. Lionel Messi all around the goal box and puts it in the bottom corner. That's what you love to see, an individual effort coming in there from Lackstar.
That is as skilled as any air dribble or flip reset, being able to get that combination of height and distance to be able to pick it up so beautifully off every touch. Mr. Low going for the flip reset, actually has it, takes the shot, and it comes off the crossbar. Pitches out and Out of Retirement, out of time. They're going to try for one more desperate attempt. Mr. Low keeping it alive for the dying seconds, but Apex bring it back.
Holy moly, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to game number 5. That is what we love to see. Having a little bit of a look at the shots. Oh my goodness! I mean, from Apex's side of things, getting some decent shots in, and it seems like almost out of a bit of a change. Mr. Low not carrying the team in terms of the shot department this time. Snoozy stepping up.
Oh, I must. But at that stage, I think it was whoever was in a good position needs to take that shot. Whenever that moment, that break moment comes in, when the pace just shifts for, especially Out of Retirement, they need to have someone there who's going for it. It doesn't need to be we need to make a space for Mr. Low. The job is the game plan is not get the ball to Mr. Low. It's get the ball to someone in a good position and create something. And now there's going to be an opportunity. Laxstar picks it apart, but the wrong line. Difficult reactionary jump coming in there. Had to play that with speeds to try and capitalize, but just doesn't follow it up. And again, this action coming straight away into Game 5 of the upper bracket finals.
Game number 5. This is the game that will decide who makes it through, who gets a guaranteed ticket to Cape Town. And then the nerve-wracking element. Who is going to go to face this very hungry, this very aggressive-looking and dangerous lost team in that losers bracket final? For right now, it still can swing either way.
Bullying play coming out now, really aggressive play, very physical play coming out between these two teams, getting really close to each other, mashing each other into these 50s. Snoozy, let's see what you can do in the air, get shut down instantly. Beautiful play there, nice pass across there. In fact, it's not a pass, it's a goal into the top left-hand corner. That lofting little play, Snoozy being able to cause consternation on the back line. Laxstar left lonely in the middle and just can't get anything.
That just little chip over the top, rises up, recognizes that his opposition is out of placement. And what a fantastic finish from Lion, has to be said.
That's that team play, that's that aggressive play, that's that if we can't get it past them. South Africa was built on defensive plays in the back line, and you can see that when it comes to out of retirement. The way that they defend their own goals, they don't push for high aggressive plays, they try to build up together as a team and they know when to back up. But you can also see it on the way they attack, the fact that they know where to pick apart the defense, where to cut the rotations, where to be able to demo someone and create an opportunity for themselves like that.
All right, so painting the picture, ladies and gentlemen, tied up at 2 apiece, out of retirement, taking on Apex. This is the winners bracket final. As we see, a narrow opportunity just missing out there, and we jump on board with Apex, who tried to dribble this one over the top. Defensive clearance coming in from out of retirement.
Nice pass coming across from Mr. Low. There is going to be the touch towards the center. Lion not going to be able to get there before one of the defensive players, and now a bit of consternation, in fact, coming in from the orange side. Friction's going to take a nice shot. But a good rotation back from Mr. Lion. Lion ZA is able to pick it up. Actually goes for the slow pass there. Risen Eclipse has popped this up high. Tries to set the slam down. And Friction not going to be able to find this. Lion again looking a little bit scrappy in the air. Doesn't manage to get a nice touch on it. And going to be able to rely on these long clears to get themselves out of trouble.
All right, so just being beaten to the ball there was Friction, as the defensive pressure will remain on Apex, but it is cleared out. It's a huge shot up against the wall, and soundly gets cleared out by Snoozy.
Woo! Mr. Low coming through with those good, solid pro mechanics there. Being able to just get a save when it's coming across the goals at any angle, at any position. Really nice consistency, and gets it around, gets that counterattack going, and the counterattack's building. Mr. Low coming in for those bumps. Creates a little bit of a wall in the back line. Risen Eclipse going to try and take it out himself though, but the fight is still there. Snoozy going up for a second touch. Can he get it over Laxstar? Can't get it around him. Does create enough space. Mr. Low with the bait. Nearly pushed it past Risen Eclipse as well.
Out of retirement, we're in a fantastic position there. I mean, the demo came in. It was just the one player needing to go clutch for Apex and doing exactly that. At the moment, out of retirement, they just need to ride out these last 1 minute and 30 seconds where Apex is on the front foot. They're trying to push every single advantage that they can get at the moment. As this one gets pinched up against the wall, puts it into a bit of an awkward position for them. As now it's going to be, coming down from high. It's Mr. Not going to be able to connect.
Snoozy again finding that crossbar, just not being able to put it low enough. There were two players waiting on the ground, and now there's another opportunity. Every time Apex doesn't get it off that backboard, every time they give that opportunity for the ricochet goal to come in, out of retirement there and waiting. And it just means the demo comes out. Lines left it open for Mr. Low. He's going to set it up high. There's one more shot. Here comes Snoozy. He's going to push to pass one. Friction going up there. There was still Laxstar on the back line. Lion's going to say, we're not done yet. Gets it past one. Gets a nice pinch. Mr. Low going to set up the pass, and Risen Eclipse not going to find it past Snoozy. Lions waiting in the center patiently. Mr. Low, last man back, and Snoozy waiting one more attack, wave after wave of this out of retirement attack, and they're going to send another one in. Laxstar now having to do all the defensive work. There's still more players. Laxstar doesn't get the clear out as far as he needs to. Friction puts a soft shot towards the center. with an impotent shot, gives away Apex's one chance so far with 20 seconds left.
They put it back up, and it's only going to be, I believe that is Lion with some boost to be able to work with, but on the opposite side of things, it's going to be Apex with 10 seconds left. He puts it up high, trying to get this one out of their side, and it's going to be Apex staring down. They need to make an opportunity happen. It's not going to be enough at the moment. It's going to be a goal opportunity to come through, and it is Out of Retirement. They'd come up with the game and progress through to the grand final of this second qualifier.
Was that every game that was separated by just a single goal?
Yeah.
5 games in a row between these two teams going back and forth. We get one game to Out of Retirement looking strong. Then Apex brings it back, levels out the series. Out of Retirement takes one step forwards, and Apex claws it back. And Out of Retirement with one goal and having to make 5 saves, pulling off a total of 11 shots, gets a single goal, and that's all it takes.
Absolutely massive coming in there from Out of Retirement, and we can understand why they called themselves that. I mean, they have come out of retirement in many ways to essentially give us a fantastic showing, and that is going to be it for game number 1. Now we've got Lost Legion ready to try gobble up Apex. Whether they can do that, we're going to have to wait and see. So ladies and gentlemen, we're going to cut to a break, and we'll see you in just a little bit. Welcome to the ACGL Matchfinders. The ACGL Matchfinder places two participants or teams up against one another in a heads-up competition. Matchfinders offer one of the quickest ways for you to be able to rank up on the ACGL platform and stand out as one of the best players. Matchfinders only operate during set times, which are from 7 PM to 10 PM on weekdays and from 5 PM to 10 PM on weekends. During those aforementioned times, you can click Find Match on your Matchfinder of choice. Should there be opposition players also searching at the same time, you will hear this, Match Found. From there, you'll have 45 seconds to select Accept Match. Once both players accept the match, you'll be able to see your opposition's name, their rank, as well as their in-game identity. The next step is to invite your opposition, play your game, and finally report the score on the ACGL website. And that's it. Matchfinders made simple. Hey there everybody, welcome back to Level Fox Presents the Showdown, powered by ACGL, brought to you by the City of Cape Town and sponsored by Cell C. You can hear my voice right now, but you're also going to be able to see a surprise guest here with me. It is going to be Clinton, aka Wolf from Level Fox. How you doing, man?
Good and you. Couldn't be better, man. Like, what a wonderful opportunity to be super cool to see what's happening here, and just a very humbling experience. You know, this tournament was presented by the City of Cape Town and co-sponsor Cell C. I mean, what a wonderful event. I couldn't ask for anything better, Nick.
Great, man. So glad to have you here with us to provide a little bit more context. So Wolf is essentially the brainchild, the man behind Level Fox itself. So Wolf, can you maybe just for a couple of our viewers, just let us know what is the thoughts behind what is Level Fox?
What is Level Fox? Level Fox purely is just an editorial news brand, but we want to go further than that. It's lifestyle. So we want to get involved, dude. We want to get into the nitty-gritty. We want to show our support to the local gaming scene that is South Africa, and it's a beautiful scene nonetheless. So we being here, we just want to emphasize that. We want to tap into some great talent, and not just esports from a casual point as well. But like I said, this brand is more than just setting up tournaments. It's a lifestyle brand, super humbled, and thanks for everybody that's here today. I'm looking at the chat, and the geest is just phenomenal. So, Level Fox is here to stay, bro. It's a brand new thing, and we're hoping to grow this beast.
Well, growing it is all what we do in South Africa, growing the esports scene, and that's something that you guys have dipped your toes into now with the Showdown. So, why? I mean, you guys have taken a big step. It's like one of the first LANs in South Africa in quite some time. A lot of excitement around it. So, the thoughts behind getting involved with your own event. What was the thoughts behind that?
Well, LAN being the key word there, Nick. So, obviously, very a little bit nervous about it, but obviously with COVID being a hot topic in the recent years, very humbled that we can actually set this up. We're obviously sticking to regulations that is with COVID, but we're gonna do something great. We just want to do something different, you know. We have tournaments and there's great things happening, but we just want to bump it up that little extra few levels. It's going to be a grand venture. I mean, we're talking multiple cameras here, inside and outside. There's going to be a crowd. So I think the people are yearning for a LAN event, and myself including. I think ACGL team doing some wonderful work in the background. Shout outs again to Cell C and City of Cape Town. But we're pumped, man. I'm pumped. I've got my ACGL hoodie on. It's warm today in South Africa. I don't care, but I'm pumped, bro. I'm pumped.
There we go. I like it. That's what we love to see. But Clinton, Wolf, it is absolute pleasure to have you here on the broadcast today. I'm sure you're going to revert back to the spectator seat and get yourselves ready. As Thank I know, you. I've got an altruism. Very excited to get back into it. And what a great pleasure that was to be able to chat to there for a couple of seconds. But Alt, game number 1, we've kicked things off. And now we go down to the losers bracket side of life, where both of these teams are going to be clawing for their opportunity to stay in this competition.
How can you call it a loser's bracket when you're sitting with 5 grand champs in here. Eliakim even throwing out that supersonic legend tag that he's so well known for. And this is what's waiting in your losers bracket. How do we start with a best of 5 first game that went all the way? We didn't get to see a game that was separated by more than a single goal, and now we're here between these two teams and they're already fighting tooth and nail. I'm sure Clint there or Wolf from Level Fox is going to be happy about this. I must admit, like, we're getting to see some amazing Rocket League action, and I'm sure you guys at home are getting to see exactly what South African Rocket League is all about.
All right, so just to provide you a little bit of context here, when it comes down to Lost Legion, they actually lost out to ATK 2-1 in the upper bracket. Then in the lower bracket, they went on to face DNMK in round number 4, where they beat them 2-0. That's how they got it all the way to round number 5, what we're seeing on screen at the moment. And they then had a little bit of revenge taking up against ATK, where they beat them 2-1. And now we are staring down Lost Legion, taking down Apex in this losers bracket final. It is going to be a big one. It is a huge opportunity for both of these teams. And hey, one goal can literally change between who we see in Cape Town next weekend.
Yeah, that's it. That's what this game is all about right now, is who is going to Cape Town, who will actually get some of that LAN experience, who will be able to actually step up on the day and go, right, we are top 4 in South Africa. This may be the most definitive competition in terms of that, at least from a LAN aspect, you know, to decide, you know, who are the big boys? Who are the guys getting to go to the big events? And you talk about DNMK, you talk about ATK, the teams that Lost Legion had to beat to get here. And those are big name teams that would have loved to have been there.
Absolutely. Some huge names falling out of this competition, but it gives way for new names and bigger names to rise up. And that's what we're going to potentially see in this game here today. Apex taking on Lost Legion, best out of 5. Ladies and gentlemen, get your Rocket League on. And also, I have to note, if you want to be in Cape Town, tickets are free. Go to the site, go check it out, go get your tickets. It's in the description down below. Free tickets, there's going to be giveaways, prizes. There's going to be free tinkies as well, just so you're aware. There's commentary, it's everything that you love. Gaming is back. I'm so hyped. Let's get going. 2 minutes, 45 seconds.
If you guys see me in Cape Town, please come and take a photo with me and Toothless. I will be bringing him down. Like, he has to be at any of these events. He's the travel companion, my friend. But yeah, getting back into our action. Half the game gone, and so far nobody managing to crack the backline. Some close attempts, some ricocheting shots, even some featuring of our favorite 7th player, the backboard on both of these teams. But so far, just nothing coming out of it. Tensions running high, 2 minutes left on the clock, and Impisapi, love that name, coming out here, and we haven't gotten to see too much of Lost Legion on the streams these days, I must admit.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, Apex from their side of things is pushing, and it's Lost Legion on the defensive side of things. Oh, that one falling curiously just past the goal. It seems like nobody wanted to touch the ball there.
That was interesting. I understand no one wants to put it into their own goal. You don't want to get out in the way of your player making a good clear, but that one potentially dangerous. If someone from Apex was perhaps bronze, they may have just charged at that and gone for the shot. But Silavi still comes down to 0-0 at the end of the day. Friction's going to put up a really nice long clear, and that's going to create some opportunities. Following up with that demo, Risen Eclipse doesn't have the boost, but hands it off towards Lackstar. Lackstar takes a good shot. There's a last man bank. Defunct's going to be there to take it up high. Runs out of boost as he meets it high and eventually just lets it drop down. A little bit of an attempt coming out from Lost Legion. They've got Eliakim in the center there, but Lackstar going to push it up high and front Friction to keep this ball going the long way around.
All right, so 1 minute mark approaches, and neither one of these teams been able to break the deadlock just yet. I want to find out from you guys, who are you supporting, Apex or Lost Legion? And at the moment, it is going to be Apex on the defensive side of things, trying to get themselves out of this position. Not a lot of boost left in for either one of the teams, as they all expended on the ball in the mid-court. This is going to provide an opportunity for one of them.
Yeah, Apex coming up here, but finding a very impenetrable backline there. Really nice long clear comes out from Eliakim, and Friction suddenly under pressure, and a lot of pressure. Defunct's going to get a nice touch, pushes it towards Lackstar, who's not in the most comfortable position, but does a really nice little half flip while hitting that ball to be able to get himself back towards correct orientation. Friction going to now try to do something on his own, has been able to do a lot previously, and Even finds that pinch. That's quickly towards the center. Risen Eclipse not able to get onto the back of that, and Lackstar now just tries to slow it down. Does not want to give us away in a dangerous position. Does give away the possession to Lost Legion, and then look in the last 4 seconds to create something. It's going towards the center. Risen Eclipse though just pushes it out, and without a goal,
Wow.
we're already in overtime.
Wow. These top 3 teams are fighting tooth and nail, and it's going to be such a closely competitive series that we have, regardless of who makes it through to the next round, it seems, because all of them seem to be on that very same level in terms of competition. It's all about today. How are you feeling? What have you done to focus on this series? And at the moment, any one of these teams could break the tie. As it does look like it's going to get broken, and it's going to be Eliakim coming out on top with the goal. Mike, take us through this.
And it comes down. Risen Eclipse misses that on the wall there. Lets that pass come towards the center. And yet again, it's the backboard. It's those shots that come in that you just don't cut off before they hit the backboard. If you don't get to that, it's going to come ricocheting out. And there's going to be someone on the backside of that. Eliakim managing to come in, getting that late goal in there. And the only goal of the series turns out to be the one that counts.
Yeah, the only goal of the series. And, well, from Lost Legion side of things, they can take a little bit of a smile away from this, knowing that they got a run that of their opposition to the 3. And having a look all together, Lost Legion looking pretty good against this Apex team, which in some ways, when you've been playing consistently at a high level and you come down to the loser's bracket, you technically have some kind of advantage. You're usually warm at that point in time. However, does look like we're starting off with game number 2, and it still can go either way.
Yeah, that's the thing is, there's 2 ways to look at that stat. Is, yeah, we took more shots and so we were exerting more pressure, but you can also think of it as we put more shots in and we didn't get anything out of it. What are we doing wrong? What is their defense doing right? How do we pick it apart? Do we start going for more demos? They did take the demo advantage there, just picking up 2 versus the 1 of Apex. And so you go, is this what we need? Do we need to increase the demos? 4 or 5 demos in a match at the right time could turn it our way. And like you said, the top 3 teams just so close here. I mean, it was 1-goal games in the previous series. Is it going to be the same here?
Oh, well, only time will tell. Only time will tell. I'm not too sure if we've got any predictions in our chat of what the final score for this game number 2 will be. But for right now, I can't put a prediction in. It is going to go either way. And Lost Legion has been the team. I mean, I spoke to some of the TO or the owners of the team a little bit earlier, and they were confident. Hey? They said, yeah, guarantee we're going through at this point in time. And you can see some of this confidence. It's making a lot of sense behind some of these shots on target, but you never know. This is Rocket League at the end of the day, and it still can swing either way.
Yeah, that's the thing about Lost Legion, is in terms of an organization, they've been putting a lot of promotion behind their players. They've been giving them a lot of screen time, constantly on the socials, the big plays coming out from these guys, the redirects, the fake out plays, the really nice double touches, and that's what it's going to take to win in this game. And you can see the tournament organizers, or at least the organization behind these players, has so much confidence in them, and so far well deserved. They've got a little bit more work to do now. Still got to come back. They've got 1 game in the packets, but that was still close.
It was very, very, very close, and I'm sure pretty happy to be able to get out of that one alive. But for right now, it is going to be Lost Legion pressing on the attack here as they get themselves pinched on the left-hand side. It's going to be the follow-up coming through from the back, and this is going to be a huge opportunity. And it is Defunct trying to find his way in, but not going to be able to.
A little bit of a disconnect there from Lost Legions. They had a really good pass towards the center, but both the players kind of pushed back a little bit, meaning that maybe Lost Legion just wanting to prioritize defense. They realize these 1 goals are the difference, and Defunct going for a nice demo play, sets something up open, and Lackstar makes a save on the baseline. Nice redirect attempt from Friction, sends it a long way down, and may look to create some pressure here on the orange goal line, but Apex gonna feel a little bit unnerved by how close that previous attempt was. And Eliakim gonna be straight back in. He's got the flipper reset, got 1 touch, doesn't get the nice touch on the second.
Oh, the demo comes out. He's going to give a goal opportunity. He tries to decoy, but not going to be able to bite on that one. And I think that was a huge opportunity, but just not being able to find the target there for Apex.
Yeah, counterattacks in South Africa, not our strongest point, but a really nice attempt there coming out from Friction. Gets a nice demo to set it up, and here's a counterattack that nearly pays off. Defunct looking to open up the scoreline, and Look at this. Again, nearly the whole game, and we haven't had a goal yet. A total of 1 goal in the last, what, 9-10 minutes of gameplay between these two teams. Just really prioritizing being able to keep up that back line and keep those rotations going. He has an opportunity, though.
Huge opportunity, but nobody's there to follow up. Nobody really had boost from the Lost Legion side, but this one goes up top. Tries to get the flick up, but not going to be able to connect. The demo will come out, and it's going to be some passing movement coming in here from Lost Legion. Do they have the third player? No, they do not really have a positional place for that. As it is going to be a huge opportunity for Afar. Hits the bar from downtown.
That was as close as it could possibly be. I was watching that in third-person camera, and I was going, "That's it, right?" Like that was as close as you could be. And you got to think, as that's going over your shoulder, no one was back there from Lost Legion. They nearly gave away the game, and they nearly gave away that 1-game advantage that they worked so hard to build. Blackstar looking to close it out, though. Force the ball up high. Friction's going to get a nice touch. Pops it up. Is there the spike coming down? Risen Eclipse not able to get it. Friction instead going to push it down. Lackstar's got another touch. But the good aggression pushed it the other way. The 50 comes out the side of Lost Legion. The Funk pushing it high. Doesn't manage to get anything. And the demo going to create a little bit more space. Picking it up in the center. Lost Legion with 25 seconds left. Looks to close it out. You've got to think that whoever scores a goal now wins the game.
Absolutely, and it does seem like these teams cannot be separated in normal time, as it always seems to go to the OT to be able to decide between the two. However, a line gets drawn. I got a bit excited there, not gonna lie.
The demo, man, it really did open up an opportunity, but Apex just holding everything in reserve, manages to hold it out. It is gonna tap down. We get our second overtime in a row. Whoever wins this goes against the team that's basically exactly level with these two teams anyway for a best of 5 bracket reset. I mean, how much Rocket League potentially, of course? How much Rocket League could we see tonight? It excites me, man.
There's I guess potential has been the word of
potential
so far. But yes, that bracket reset is looking very, very real as these teams across the board are so closely forward. It does look like a rebound opportunity, but not going to be able to find its mark. And now you'll see that clock ticking upwards, ticking time of who is going to be the one that breaks this deadlock.
Apex does so well when they can get those passing plays together, but they're just not linking them up well enough. That's a nice touch over the top. That's a beautiful touch. And MP, third man, charges forwards. This first touch from Defect, the second one from Eliakim to push it out of the way of Lackstar. And Risen Eclipse does not believe that someone could be coming through that quickly and underestimates Lost Legion, who now puts Apex on series points.
Series point indeed. I almost feel bad for Apex at this point in time, just because how closely fought both of these games have been. Having a look at shots overall, I mean, very, very close. It is the 10 from Lost Legion in comparison to the 8 coming in from Apex. However, saves across the board. I mean, both of these teams really doing work inside of their own goal mouth.
And the big thing there, the number of shots from Apex was 8. The number of saves from Lost Legion also 8. Lost Legion focused on that defense. We sometimes question whether they should have been following up a little bit closer, or if there was an opportunity that was missed because they didn't have that extra man there. But it was perfectly fine. They played their strategy. They focused from the backline forwards. They kept everything out, and they won by the single opportunity that they managed to capitalize on in overtime. Lost Legion playing from a really solid position right now and sending Apex into a really 5 minutes, which could separate them from a trip to Cape Town. And one goal!
Almost straight over the kickoff there as we get left with our hearts in our mouths. That one's not going to be able to connect on the mark. Apex now need to turn this a little bit more into an aggressive play style from their end. And perhaps playing a little bit more risky overall. We'll see if that counts in their favor. But, I mean, 2-0 in total game count, it doesn't feel fair in some ways out of just the goals, but really, that's how closely fought these games have been.
Yeah, 100%. You know, it doesn't, if this turns into a 3-0 sweep, I don't believe it will actually reflect how close the games were individually. And that's going to be interesting. You know, when it comes to reverse sweeps, South Africa's no stranger, especially recently. In RLCS, we have been seeing reverse sweeps left, right, and center. Best of 7 reverse sweeps. where these teams are able to just rally from the depths and be able to pull it back. And I certainly don't think, from the way that Apex have been playing, I don't think that they're content to leave it as a 3-0 sweep.
Yeah, well, at this point in time, it's still the reverse sweep is very much a possibility. You never know between these two, as it's going to be Apex. Yeah, potential. There we go. I like it. That's what we like to hear. Like, and right now it is going to be Lost Legion on the right-hand side, and currently not a lot of boost in their back pocket. So this is going to be an opportunity for Apex to try to push forward.
Oh, big chance here. Lost Legion sets it up.
Ooh.
Risen Eclipse manages to get there and picks it up. Actually turns around the other side. Manages to pinch apart Defunct. Friction looking for the touch there. Defunct sitting a bit high. MP gets a nice bounce down. Laxdog going to pick it up, and they've overlapped. The whole of Lost Legion is committed. Friction clearing the way. Looks like he's doing some curling, sweeping action as he just cleans up the back line. No one there to knock out the way. And it ends up being Apex turning around the momentum and picking up their first goal in 3 games.
What an overcommit coming in there from Lost Legion. All 3 players left in front of the ball, and that was, at the end of the day, quite a casual goal coming in from Apex. They just had a goal net to be able to put the ball into.
Yeah, and I mean, we've been talking, the counter-attack goal. The demo came out, offsetting the Apex backline, and Risen Eclipse was left even being challenged there. Didn't have any space to come in there, and when you pop it out towards the center, it just creates a better angle for the Lost Legion players who were being so aggressive, and I think they took that goal personally.
They might have taken it personally. We'll just have to wait and see. For right now, 3 minutes left on the clock. Tied up at 1 apiece. We left it off how we started it, without one of these games avoiding sudden death or overtime. Let's see if the same case is going to be for game number 3. At the moment, the flick comes through, coming from Alaikum. And it is going to be a pass up against the backboard. It's a lovely pass, but just a little bit overcooked.
You know, it's weird right now. I'm seeing a much more chaotic, much more aggressive play style coming out from Lost Legion. Not afraid to throw MP there right close up in the action. And it was what cost them last time. And, you know, we talked about it previously. They were focusing on their defense for most of their game. And it seems like maybe now with 2 games in the bag, Lost Legion's going, we finish this. Here and now, we close out the series. We have been able to eke it out twice in a row. And now we just start putting together some mechanics, but leaving themselves open. Apex going to pick up a goal.
Yeah. Huge shot hitting up against the wall and deflecting its way down. I'm not too sure if it was an intentional shot. We'll have to see. Yeah, 100%. I wish we could see just the game chat. Calculated coming up right across. Apex now taking the lead for the second time in this game. We are at least moving away from a 0-0 sudden death overtime. But who knows, overtime might still loom, as Lost Legion will not give up without a fight.
I propose that if rule 1 is if 2 cars meet face to face, they don't move. Rule 2 should definitely be that if you pull off something like an intense high-speed pinch like that was completely off of 50 or something, you have to say calculated in chat. It comes out. Defunct not going to need any sort of chat right now, though. Coming off this great pass, and Risen Eclipse just not doing well enough on defense. I thought he had that clear towards the corner, and just leaves it open, and Lost Legion rally with that aggressive playstyle and come in and level up the game.
There we go. Lost Legion not going to be able to slow down at any point in time. It seems like it's mandatory in terms of their win calculation that they have to stay even with their opposition at all time. And right now it is going to be a chip over the top from Alaikum. Oh, it's a huge touch, and that's going to give them a good positional play to go forward with.
Yeah, this is something that Lost Legion is starting to get well known for. Their clips have started to showcase their individual skills. Any of these players really can pick up the ball from anywhere on the field, and if they get it right, carry it the long way around, carry it past all 3 players, and get that malicious touch through into the back line. It's the only word I can think of to use it, because the cheek of it, the late touch on it, the way that they pull it out, and look at this musty flick attempt comes out from Alaikum to try and separate these 2 teams. It's a low committal. They need 1 player to create some sort of big power overlap, and so far Apex just being able to keep it in their own side and keep it completely level.
Right, so I mean, I got a feel for Apex at the moment. Every time that they take a lead, they get a little bit of a confidence boost, and that gets nailed right back. At the moment, the 50-50 will go in favor of Lost Legion, as this one falls Precurious on the left-hand side of that goalpost. Now it's up to Apex to try come up with the counter-attack. Chips this one over the top. Ooh, who's going to rise up to the challenge? Does look like Lost Legion get out of this one.
Oh, I don't know if Apex is going to, though. The shot's
Ooh.
coming in. A soft touch from MP. Sets it up high, trying to come back in. But that could have been a much more venomous shot there coming out from Lost Legion. Still pushed back towards their side. Lakem's going to be able to pitch this up. Friction's going to go for the shot, and the
He goes high.
back line means that goal was open for just a second. The pass comes across. Defunct, though, going to read this out. And it looks like third game in a row. We could be setting up for overtime. Lakem has to do something here. Gets a nice touch. Friction going to try. Is he going to let it go down? Lets it dunk. Lakem's not prepared to let this down.
No.
It was a long way. Defunct sets it up high. The Bsop is waiting for it. But we are going to a third overtime
There we
in
go.
a row.
Another overtime. Can you believe it? For game number 3, it is still either one of these teams still in it. As the
The
ball
shot!
falls kindly, and straight away it's Apex. Friction gets the goal.
Oh my goodness, the kickoff. Friction coming there, taking the time to suss out the opponent's bait in Lakem, who decided to challenge early instead of going and covering the goal line. And it baits out that small little fraction of an opportunity, makes no mistake, comes through with that overtime goal. And Apex going to be able to extend this series. I'm a dreamer. I say it in every stream. I always believe that there's a chance for a Game 5 reverse sweep, or at least get to Game 5 there. But Lost Legion will have to play at least 5 more minutes if they want to take this home.
In sudden death, we go again to that game number 3. The dice get rolled. Apex. It comes out in their favor. A huge, huge opportunity for them. So, now when it comes down to this very next game, we're going to have to wait and see who's going to be able to come out on top. Game number 4, ladies and gentlemen, just around the corner. I mean, from your side of things, Mike, I can't believe how close this is. All of the games. So
This is ridiculous. You know, I've been so focused, or like a lot of people have been very focused on the top levels in South Africa. You know, who comes out with the big cash prize at the end of the day? It's Orlando Pirates, XD, Bravado. Those are the names really making titles. ATK has been setting their names up there in the stars for a while now. And so there really hasn't been this intense look at what's been bubbling below the surface. And this is what's been bubbling below the surface. August now picked up there. I'm not sure who ARPX is. There's been no official announcement there, but this is the August side who have been there and thereabouts for so long. Lost Legion coming in consistently high ranks, and there is such a close middle field or upper echelon, upper middle field here in South Africa that it really just pushes, and these teams are going to get better the more they spar like this.
And yeah, that's exactly what we'd like to see, right? Is the scene, what is it? Diamonds sharpen diamonds? Is that correct? In terms of that saying, that's what we've seen at the moment.
Steel sharpens steel. But
There we go. Steel sharpens steel, 100%. And at the moment, that's what we like to see in this highly competitive environment. It does look like Lost Legion get themselves off to a little bit of a flyer with essentially their talisman, Lakem, coming up with the goal.
Man, that first one though from Defunct, let's talk about that shot for a second, because that was blitzing fast. Apex having to make a jump there. I didn't even see at the pace of that who was up for that save, having to pre-jump and deflect that out however they could. Lakem though coming in as third man, picking up that loose ball off that amazing save that was required, forced out by the 3-man play from Lost Legion. And that is definitely one that could go on to one of their highlight reels. Lost Legion, guys, you have proven yourselves worthy of the montages at this stage with a shot like that. Being able to pull it out, Lost Legion, remember ladies and gentlemen, they only need one game and it's only been separated by a single goal in overtime for every one of these games so far.
All right, so now on the defensive
Second
side
goal,
of things,
second goal.
Apex trying to get it out, and it is a doubling of the lead coming in from Lost Legion as the ball ticks, 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 and finally gets slammed home. Oh, it's such a precarious position if you're Apex.
And Friction was there, jumped, and the natural instinct is to pull your car backwards so you can do a nice quick aerial, but instead, the tilting of his car backwards just gives it that extra little bit of impetus to start flashing a little bit faster, and his hopes die as the flickers get faster, and eventually Friction has to watch it go in over his head, doubles the goal lead, like you say, for Lost Legion. And this is the first time we're getting to see a 2-goal lead. Lost Legion, with that extra bit of aggression, wants to end this here and now.
So, I mean, mentally, just going into this, essentially, when you have that 2-goal brace, does it give you a little bit more room to almost experiment, to take those chances, or do you think that this is going to just solidify them to maybe take a bit more of a defensive approach?
keep playing exactly as you were. That's the important thing. You've still got over half the match left. You cannot go, okay, we got 2 goals. That's fine. You know, we can save it. This is a game where teams can score 7, 8 goals each in a game. I think the highest scoring goal was set in South Africa very recently as a total of 17 goals in the game. 15-2 final scoreline. And so this is a game with 2.5 minutes. You don't sit on any laurels. You keep pushing forwards, and that's exactly what Lost Legion is preparing to do right now.
Best defense is a good offense, right? So at the moment, Lost Legion going to keep on attacking, keep on moving forward. It's going to be a musty flick coming in here from Alaikum. I believe that was huge plays as he comes out from the top. Was that musty or was that a flip reset?
Just a flip reset. Comes
I
off
do
the ceiling.
apologize.
No, that's how finesse these shots have to be, how close you have to be watching it as the defenders to be able to pick that up. And because he came off the ceiling there, he can hold that. I think he may have actually got to the ceiling, come off it, and then jumped off there at the end. But a 4th shot coming in here, suddenly Lost Legion.
Yo.
It doesn't matter how they're doing it with style, they're doing it with aggression, and with the communication set to like him up there. That's going to be his hat-trick from the match out of the 5 shots he's taken. And leads up, now you start going from Apex. How did it get to this point? We were 1 goal away at every stage so far, and suddenly we're 4 goals behind.
Yeah, it's literally like Lost Legion have just picked up the boost and started driving further and further away from their opposition that just can't keep up. 4 goals to 0. It's a complete change in the narrative. But if you're a Lost Legion fan, this is exactly what you want going into that essentially grand final of the second qualifier.
Yeah, that's the thing, is Apex was the team that just lost out to out of retirement, and so you don't really want to just eke them out because you're going, okay, we're on par basically with the team that's just lost to this team. Oh, Risen Eclipse going to get credited for Lycum's pinch back towards the center there. A late goal there. Don't know if it's enough. It could be an interesting change in story. And if we can get that narrative of 3 goals in a minute 20, it opens things up. But Lost Legion, I think, still going to be feeling quite comfortable. And this is why I said, with Lost Legion waiting in that lower bracket, they would really want to be able to put on a definitive showing again, going, we deserve to get to this grand final. We're not the consolation team coming into Cape Town.
All right, so now Lost Legion turning it up a little bit. Let's see if they're going to be able to carry this momentum all the way through. There's around about a minute left, and from Apex's side of things, it just, I don't know if it's maybe, it can't be fatigue, right? It's just in terms of a couple of lacking moments, that concentration just seemingly not being able to carry them through. They've kept this game and the series so close and a little bit hard done by at times.
Oh, goal? No. Wait. Defunct doesn't manage to shut it down. Friction slides in underneath. I was not committing to anything. As soon as I saw Eliakim going for that, Langstar had the opportunity, makes a double kit, commits and Defunct. Valiant effort, charging across the goals, jumps just a little bit high and gets read out. Friction may have opened this up.
Is this possible?
Closer. I'm a dreamer.
Is this possible? Is this possible? Is it going to happen?
Backstar?
Oh
Backstar?
no. Oh no.
Backstar?
Oh no. Okay, no, it's okay, no. Okay. It won't happen, but hey, we dreamed for a little bit, right?
Lost Legion deserves their support. Let's be fair. When we see chats, and guys, if you're in chat saying Lost Legion and you're there coming in with all the support for your team, well, good credit to you. This is a nice show for them at the end, keeping their composure, and Apex just did rally at the end, but I think that turn up of pace from Lost Legion just caught Apex by surprise. And while it did cost Lost Legion in the previous series, now you get that more offensive positioning going, you get that teamwork running out there, and you put in 5 goals. Beautiful showing.
Yeah. A huge showing coming in here from Lost Legion, and they definitely want to rise up and force that bracket reset when it comes down to the very next game. They will come in with the disadvantage going in to the grand finals of the second qualifier, but book their ticket to Cape Town. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our top 4 teams.
Orlando Pirates XD, Bravado Gaming, Lost Legion now, and the wonderful side that we saw going through earlier out of retirements. Not about half of them have LAN experience. For the other half, this is going to change everything about Rocket League in South Africa for them. They're going to be going down to Cape Town. They're going to get to see their opponents face to face. It's going to be interesting to see how they go through. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, we still have lots of Rocket League action here for you this evening. Lost Legion going to be going up against Out of Retirement in that upper bracket, coming through with all the momentum, but Out of Retirement have that bracket reset advantage that they're going to be able to hold it in. It is going to be for seeding, and considering who's waiting on that other side, I mean, yeah, if you go through as the top seeding, you still have Bravado to face. It is the more advantageous position. But man, a long road ahead for these guys. Guys, we're going to go to a very quick break. And we're going to come back with our ultimate grand finals here in the second qualifier of the showdown, brought to you by ACGL, City of Cape Town, and Cell C. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the ACGL Matchfinders. The ACGL Matchfinder places two participants or teams up against one another in a heads-up competition. Matchfinders offer one of the quickest ways for you to be able to rank up on the ACGL platform and stand out as one of the best players. Matchfinders only operate during set times, which are from 7 PM to 10 PM on weekdays and from 5 PM to 10 PM on weekends. During those aforementioned times, you can click Find Match on your Matchfinder of choice. Should there be opposition players also searching at the same time, you will hear this: Match found. From there, you'll have 45 seconds to select Accept Match. Once both players accept the match, you'll be able to see your opposition's name, their rank, as well as their in-game identity. The next step is to invite your opposition, play your game, and finally report the score on the ACGL website. And that's it. Matchfinders made simple. Hey everybody, welcome back to Level Fox Presents the Showdown, powered by ACGL and brought to you by the City of Cape Town and sponsored by, of course, our good people over at Cell C. I've got Altruism with me here for the grand finals of qualifier number 2. Alt, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I've really enjoyed seeing the level of Rocket League here in South Africa tonight. I must admit, getting to see what the next generation, the next level of Rocket League players that are starting to challenge for those top positions. I mean, this is starting to set it up that any tournament in South Africa is anyone's game. And it really is anyone's game when we look at the two teams left here. They've both qualified for that grand finals position in Cape Town. Now it comes down to who can take that top spot and go through with the slightly easier job down there in Cape Town. But still, lots to play for between these two teams. And it seems like I was sitting in chat there during the intermission, getting to feel out how everyone's doing. And Lost Legion have a lot of support here, considering they've got a bracket reset ahead of them.
Yeah, and I mean, with that side of things, out of retirement, I mean, despite them progressing through from the winners bracket final into this match now with that advantage, seen as they have not lost a game throughout this bracket of the second qualifier, sets themselves up in a great position, and that bracket reset is going to play huge into this. But one great thing that both of these teams can rest assured is that they've got their tickets to Cape Town. Oh wow, Lakem coming out firing for Lost Legion early on here.
Wow, that is huge. That is a big pivotal play coming out there. Reading that, almost pre-jumping it out of the corner. And remember, that is one of the trickiest corners in the game. I mean, that can go anywhere. Physics just disappears into those little folds of pixels. And so, a big play. And following it up straight away with the second one. Mr. Low instantly put under pressure. This is the old guard. And this is one of the teams with the best mechanics, or at least the best individual mechanics, that they can start pulling out some crazy stuff versus the team who might not be up to speed with them just yet at this stage. So far, just the one goal down, but a quick goal that it was at that.
Well, I wanted to provide a little bit of context to this game, but these teams not even allowing us a second to breathe away from that action. But one thing that is all important about this series is that no matter what, they also guarantee themselves 3,000 Rand in cash prizes, should they obviously participate in Cape Town and make sure that they're there. That being said, first seed for the series from the first qualifier was Pirates XD, and then Bravado coming out in second seed. That means that whoever loses this game will essentially go on to face Pirates XD, and the team that wins will go on to face Bravado. You mentioned this a little bit earlier. Is there a clear difference between the two? Do you think that there's a personal favorite between these two when it comes down to the teams?
I think there's a personal, a professional, a musical favorite between these two teams when you consider that Pirates XD just has not actually lost at all. So Apex, let's give a little bit of credit here to Out of Retirement being able to pull this around. Lion taking a quick look, passes nicely over the top of MP, and it seemed like Lost Legion still on that high, still on that confidence boost of the previous run. Didn't really cover their backboard, their goal line too well there, and give up a pretty soft goal at that. But getting back to your question, oh no, we're not. Defunct. Gonna be able to pinch it off the ceiling. No time for analysis here, my friend.
No time for analysis, no time for context, just pure Rocket League action. Gets that one up against the top, and as you said a little bit earlier, that one was, was it planned, Mike?
Calculated.
There we go.
Every time. Calculated.
Every single time.
Although, to be fair, like, I actually give credit to Defunct there that he read that off the roof. You know, it's basically the same as the power shots, just completely upside down. So basically the same thing, you know, no tangible difference there. But if you can get the timing right on a power shot, you can get the timing right upside down as long as your mechanics are there with you. And really nice play from Defunct. Just manages to get in below the backboard and turns it around. And really nice start for them, managing again to get that one goal up. But they've left it open here. Mr. Lowe gets a nice touch off. Lion going to be trying to find it even higher, create more pressure. The bounce comes down and Defunct's going to turn it around. Snoozy's waiting there in the center, but a quick counter-attack. Everyone from Lost Legion charging forwards. Decides to just leave it to go down, and Snoozy going to come in with a better pace to set up another opportunity here for Out of Retirement.
Tries to get the pass going into midfield. It's a 1-2, and that one's not going to be able to find number 2 at least. This is going to be off the line cleared, coming in from the line, who will roar his way out of that one. Now, when it comes down to, ladies and gentlemen, the first LAN event in quite some time, specifically for Rocket League. If you are based in Cape Town or in the Western Cape, you have no excuse. Make sure that you make your way through. Taking place at Atlantic Studios next week. Make sure you're there. Get your tickets right now before you miss out on this opportunity. Bunch of giveaways, bunch of prizes. You'll be able to see some fantastic Rocket League as we're seeing on your screen right now.
Honestly, if you guys are just tuning into Rocket League for the first time, you've somehow come across this by clicking on the wrong link, you were looking for Elon Musk's page, doesn't matter. We're still here. We're bringing you the amazing action. And I mean, if you like sports, you like Rocket League. If you like video games, you like Rocket League. If you like just hanging out with a crowd of people who have an amazing vibe towards them and play this amazing game together, come through to Cape Town. The more people we get in there, the bigger the crowd's going to be, the more hype we're going to get. I mean, we're getting hype right now. Lost Legion looking to take this first game here. The hype on the stream, just between these teams, has been tangible. The hype in chat is tangible. I cannot wait to see what the hype of a crowd can do.
All right, so now, Lost Legion, we saw how they turned things up a notch in that very last game where they took on Apex. Now Out of Retirement is feeling this momentum, and I gotta say, it's something that I'm quite excited to be able to see in the LAN environment, and Alaikum once again tries to pull essentially the proverbial, what is that, rabbit out the hat, but not gonna be able to find the mark, and Snoozy turns it around on its head.
That was a series of beautiful plays. Lion gets that save across the back line there. Mr. Lowe pops it up towards the center, and Snoozy already going up for it, slows down his pace, gets a little bit more of an angle, gets the touch over the top, and Out of Retirement's not out of this game yet.
All right, so not out without a shout, and ooh, it almost immediately gets put in by Lion. Now the follow-up from Out of Retirement. They don't want to go into a bracket reset. It's an arduous process for them. They want to nip this one in the bud. And at the moment, the demo's going to be able to come in. This is going to give them a numerical advantage. Out of Retirement's right back in it. It's going to be Snoozy yet again.
Mr. Lowe is just emulating. Papa Capes is living vicariously through Mr. Lowe right now, because Papa Capes was the original teammate of his who just made demos so fashionable in South Africa. Take away that backline. I don't have the individual skills to beat you. Oh, goodness, what am I going to do? You're not there anymore. You're not going to make any saves. I don't have to do anything fancy. Just give a wide open berth. And then make no mistake to pull it back with 36 seconds left on the clock. Or we're going to go to another overtime.
We're going to have to wait and see. For right now, Out of Retirement are trying to push forward. It's their oppositions. Lost Legions looking a little bit perturbed, maybe slightly confused. What a save as well. What a shot. They didn't know which one was going to be able to take that shot. The little bit of a tap from the top corner, but the save comes into match. Fantastic play from both of these teams.
With so little time left on the clock, every one of these little touches that's not going right is costly. Every one of those saves is everything in this game. And it could be everything in the series for Lost Legion if they look to turn it around. They did so much work to get themselves a 2-goal advantage twice, and now it's going to go to an overtime. Out of Retirement, pull it back, and sitting here looking good at this stage. Anyone's game for now. Mr. Low going to go up, and Snoozy puts in a very high ball. Lycan pushes it down. There's a shot from Snoozy. Follows it up, and Out of Retirement managed to turn it back.
The hat-trick hero, Snoozy, comes in, goes up against the trademark backboard for the goal. And I honestly, I can't believe this. Between all of these teams, the final 3 of the second qualifier have given us a show. I can't even wait to see the stats. I want to say snats just because it felt like Snoozy's stats.
Well, it really was at that stage, picking up all 4 of the goals. We gave credit to Mr. Low earlier, picking up his 4-goal series. But this time, not being able to get to the scoreboard, Snoozy picking up all of the goals for his team, lifting them. And this is just such a good sign. Everyone from Out of Retirement able to do their jobs. Lion and Mr. Low fortifying that back line with a combined 6 saves each, 2 saving medals distributed there. And for Lost Legion, having to work so hard, taking 10 shots, and when they get turned aside like that, only picking up 3 goals and having to do so much work on the counter-attack versus the 12 shots Out of Retirement, eventually it's the slow and steady wins the race of the old-timers versus the high-level mechanics of Lost Legion.
Them Out of Retirement. I love it. It's what you like to be able to see. They turned the game on its head. Was that a 3-1 deficit that they were at?
Yep, they were 2-0 down, 2-0 down, then they managed to bring it back to 2-1. 3-1 up, and now you go, okay, we see Lost Legion running away with this. No, it turns around, Out of Retirement. If you want to actually read it as the score says, you got to put in a little bit of an Irish accent there. Out of Retirement.
There we go. It's what we like to see here, lad, right?
That's the last time I'm going to attempt an accent on stream, ladies and gentlemen, for your sake and for mine. I apologize, Nick.
All right, we won't get Out of Retirement on our casting gig, at least for right now. Let's see what's going to happen in this game number 2. Before we kick things off, ladies and gentlemen, you're joining us here for the Level Fox Showdown, brought to you by City of Cape Town, sponsored, of course, by the good folk over at Cell C. What a series this has been thus far to be able to lead us to where we are right now. These two teams will not relent as we go into our very, very next game. It is Out of Retirement taking on Lost Legion.
How is this game too, my friend? We've seen so many overtimes. We've seen a full 5-game series already so far tonight. I mean, our last one went to the 4th game. This one, though, Lost Legion looking to turn it back. They're down a game, but they are up a goal as they pick up Mr. Low's pass there. Mr. Low getting greedy, going for that boost. Thinks he can get around, and just that fine slot between the two players gives Lost Legion the edge.
All right, so to give us a rundown from your side, Mike, provide us with a little bit of context in terms of where we are in our series.
In terms of a bracket reset, this is where we start to see who can hold it on for the long stretch. You know, the chaotic nature of Lost Legion is really paying off right now. It gives them these opportunities. They tend towards maybe throwing that third man up a little bit too far, going too far on aggression, and we have seen them be punished for it before. And that might come back to bite them in a longer series like this. But bracket reset is, I mean, you have to win 3 games without your opponents winning 3, and then do it again. You go back to 0-0, and it means now every one of those goals, and considering how close the series has been, we've already had an overtime. We had so many overtimes in the last series. I mean, even our first series of the night came down to such a long, drawn-out series. Every mistake can count, and when you put that many mistake possibilities in front of Lost Legions, maybe?
Yeah. This is the thing from Lost Legion. they do seem to blow very, very hot, and then they have these moments of where you're just like, what is going on? What's changed? And at the moment, it does look like they're blowing hot. It does look like Defunct. I mean, he turns the score into his name, essentially, with that 3 represented, as they take, essentially, 3 goals up to the 0 of Out of Retirement. Now, this is the thing, the temperamental nature, seemingly, of this Lost Legion squad is something I can't wait to be able to see in the LAN environment. Are they going to change it up completely? Will they blow hot on the day? We're going to have to wait and see.
That's the thing about a LAN, though, is that when you've already got so much adrenaline from the games, you now hype it up with the crowds, you now hype it up with the big prize pools on the line, you now hype it up with everyone sitting around you, screaming at each other, everyone being in the same place. This is where you start to see what a team's really made of, and it's going to be interesting. Can Lost Legion take that and channel that energy, create something magical for themselves? And they're doing it so far. They've already secured themselves their trip to Cape Town. But Out of Retirement, maybe they just have some LAN rust themselves that they need to work out of.
It's been more than 2 years. So, I mean, from that side of things, is everyone just reset? Is everyone back to norm? Is it fair game across the board? Only time will tell. But for right now, the time is ticking. We're around about 2 minutes and 50 seconds left on the clock for this game number 2. Lost Legion fighting back. They didn't like going down in that opportunity of that game number 1 where they had the lead, they had the advantage. Let's see if they're going to be able to hold on in this game number 2.
Under a bit of pressure now, Defunct pushed onto the backboard. MP Sapi going to get dunked down by Mr. Low, but he doesn't create enough of an opportunity. Still 2 Lost Legion players, baits it out a little bit. Means Lion can put this up. A nice little spike up comes out there with the second touch from Lion. Ends up sending Mr. Low wide. And still, Snoozy trying to create something. Charges in is a shot from Lion, but it's straight towards the defender. Mr. Low coming through, looking to again take it. Gets the flip reset, but doesn't manage to do anything out of it. Snoozy's got a shot. 2 minutes still left on the board is the time that they need to be able to make a comeback into this game, but they really need to make this pressure that they've spent so long building up count.
Yeah.
Mr. Low eventually makes it happen.
There we go. Eventually being the key word. I felt like they missed out on a couple of big opportunities there, but Mr. Low turning, he's be able to
flicks that across there. I don't know what's
similar
happening.
case of what
There
we
we go.
saw in that game number 1.
Sorry, Nick, you just cut out for a little bit there. Apologies. I don't know if that was just on my side, but Stream, indeed, you were saying that just that turnaround of possibility right now. Yep, we got you, my friend. We got you. Still, Eliakim now starting to look dangerous again. Lost Legion don't want to give it away. They did give up 3 goals in the previous series. Out of Retirement managing to find their own in that series. They've got 1.5 minutes to do it now. Snoozy going to just come back, let Lion have this. Nice attempt. Lost Legion needs to be careful of overcommitting. They've done it before. They may have done it again now. Mr. Low goes for the shot and just goes wide. Lion going to get a nice punch though, but he's going to have to try to beat it out past 2 defenders to the back line. Lost Legion look to take that aggression straight back. Right, seems like we've lost Nick at the key moment. Mr. Low goes for the shot, long way down the field, just comes off, unfortunately, off that upright, and woodwork denying them yet again in this series. Nice attempt comes in, good shot comes out from Snoozy. We see Lion now trying to make something happen. They've burnt a minute off the clock, and so Out of Retirement would desperately like to create something here. Lost Legion fans in the chat are probably rejoicing right now, coming back into this competition, but they're under pressure. Snoozy could have taken a really potent shot there, but instead goes wide. Now has to fight his way back through 3 members. Doesn't have the boost to back himself out. Mr. Low going to try and help out in the ways he can, doing what he does best, creating consternation. Snoozy's managed to get some boost, but gets dunked down immediately by Defect, and Defunct sets it up for Eliakim, managing to come through the air. 4 goals now to the 1 of Out of Retirement. And it seems like they have secured their place in this competition, or at least in this match. 22 seconds left. Out of Retirement's going to have to do something very, very special. Now, Lost Legion, you guys, are you feeling like this is the turnaround at this stage? I'd like to hear from you in chat at this stage. So far, going into this, you did have the percentage on whether you thought your players were going to come back in. And remember, first game doesn't tell you everyone, but I think Lost Legion are going to be very happy that they're not going to be going 2 games down. Sitting on the face of a reverse sweep, looking for a consolation goal now at the end. just carry on that momentum, but going 2 games down would be devastating. But managing to come back sets up that bracket reset, sets up that reverse now to turn around. And Impisapi, even after the buzz, they like him, setting it wide. And it is going to touch down with Lost Legion leveling up the series. Seems like Nick's still not around, so we're going to be getting him back on, ladies and gentlemen. Until then, you've got my company to appreciate. I hope you do. At this stage, looking at 4 saves apiece from these two sides. The more shots coming out of retirements, but far less goals at the end of the day. Just not getting them potent enough. Couple of opportunities going wide, and I think they'd like to rally themselves. A very experienced team here has that ability to just regroup themselves, regather themselves, and be able to come back into any of these competitions at any stage. Really doesn't have to stress too much. Has that big match temperament, and you know, the pressure coming off with that ability to go, you know, we've already secured our place in Cape Town does help. Does look like Out of Retirement, though, going to be coming in with a bit of aggression, coming out potently in the beginning there. Nice shot off across Impisapi, trying to make something happen, and hands it off to Mr. Low. She's got some space in the air. Can he get a nice touch? The roof is going to complicate things a little bit. Eliakim uses it to his advantage. Carries it high, carries it long. Actually baits out his teammate. Defunct's going to be carrying up with him. And Impisapi now getting involved in the attack. Pushes it across, but an easy save. May turn this around. Lion sends it a long way down. Finds Defunct backwards. But between him and Eliakim, not able to push it out of the back of the net just yet. Snoozy gets a nice play there. Mr. Low just setting it up, trying to push back towards the center, cutting rotations there. Doesn't give him anything to work with. Snoozy now going to create some space, sends it to the long side of the field, picks up the ball, tries to run around the corner, gets a nice pop out there. Like him, going to have to make something happen here. Lion's ready to collect it, picks it up nicely, gets a flick over the top. Like him sends it up, but Mr. Low hasn't committed yet. He's back into the attack. Snoozy now setting it up high, pinches out towards the center, risky attack, open goal opportunity there. Like him had a good amount of that covered, and so no one from Out of Retirement wanting to throw that giveaway position just yet. A little bit of a bump here again. Mr. Low cutting rotations, and ball sent towards the center, works out towards Out of Retirement's favor, pushing it in there. Double commit though from Out of Retirement. Yeah, gives Lost Legion some space, and they're going to need it with the slow down play that they decide to resort to. Snoozy going to go for that one. Mr. Low getting a taste of his own medicine as the demo comes back the other way. Impisapi now straight on the other side of the field. Going to leave a big gap now. Mr. Low looking to take it high. Goes for one. Forces Defunct out. Lion going to be trying for the second attempt. Not going to be able to be there. And Eliakim looking to put some pressure around the other side. It's been back and forth action between these two sides. The demo comes out. That could be everything. It is Defunct manages to pick up that goal. Tactical demo at the last second between this very aggressive Lost Legion push. Goes in there. Eliakim being able to hand off the pass. And they carry on that momentum to open up that opportunity in the back line. Gives Lost Legion that 1 goal advantage. They managed to pick up 4 goals in the previous one. Nearly had 5 at the end there. But Out of Retirement do not want to let this be the start of the onslaught. And Mr. Low looking to turn around and equalize, quickly gets denied out by Impisapi. Still, Mr. Low back into the attack. Nice bit of aggression, bit of composure from Out of Retirement. They're sent scurrying, and it seems like we have a Holden back in chat. Nick, we'll wait for him to confirm when he comes in. Instead, we're going to see a very close attempt. Impisapi just managing to make that one less dangerous. Nearly made it more dangerous. The first shot is there. Mr. Low eventually going to pick it up. Huge plays from Out of Retirement to just try and control the space. Forces Defunct up into the air, out of a position, and then the hit off Defunct nearly sends it in and onto the crossbar. Thankfully, there's still another blue player there to clean it up. Out of Retirement with 2 minutes 20 seconds is looking to come back, turn this momentum around, and carry on what they set out to do in that first match.
Sorry to leave you all alone there, Mike, for a little bit. I do apologize. Solo casting is not easy, I do understand.
Oh, I loved it. We had so much action here. There was so much to cover, and glad to have you back. Catch us up on what you think. Did you manage to see what we have here? Out of Retirement managing to pull it back so cleanly.
No, unfortunately, I had an internet outage for some reason. The whole router reset was required. We are back in, we are back live, and I'm happy to have the heart pounding again as we get back into the action. Does look like we're tied up at 14. Match score, but Out of Retirement seemingly turning up momentum in this game number 3.
That turn from Mr. Low was so quick, so clean to be able to come back. And I like him running parallel to that throughout this length. Had to cut in at some stage, but would have cut in behind the ball there. Just the touch of pace that out of retirement needed. And we talk about momentum. I'm a science teacher, as some of you know, and momentum is one of the things we cover. It's mass times velocity, and Lost Legion just didn't have the velocity to keep up there out of retirement, getting that velocity behind them, getting that momentum behind them as a result, and setting their mass careening into Lost Legion. Now a bit of a force majeure coming out the other way. Lost Legion looking to level this back up. They've just been able to level out the series, and now they're being tested on their goal lines.
Yeah, and at the moment, out of retirement, they do not want that bracket reset to happen. 1 minute left on the clock. It's going to be a Lakem leading from the front. However, on the opposite side of things, Snoozy has been fantastic throughout this series. He's really turned on.
Snoozy's been fantastic, like you say, being able to come up. Currently the lowest scoring player on the side of out of retirement. But as any good ranked player knows, score means nothing. If you are sitting there as the lowest scorer, but you're making those impact plays, the ones that don't get you the point, but sets up the rest of your team for glory, and that's what Snoozy's been doing. Being able to use those aerial plays, getting some cheeky dribbles going, gets a nice pass off line, gonna find it just above the crossbar, and yet again, Snoozy doesn't get the credit for it, but man, did he do some work there.
What a good pass that just paralleled directly for his teammates saying, are you ready for this one? You can clearly see that they've got great communication. However, that final touch sometimes lacking. We're going to have to wait and see. Will Lost Legion be able to turn this one on its head? Snoozy keeps the forward momentum. You mentioned how important that is a little bit earlier. And at the moment, it's going to be Lost Legion on the back foot. Let's see. Do they have a couple of seconds to keep this in the air? It's floating.
Snoozy, yet again, being that key playmaker in the right place, knows where the ball needs to go at any stage to carry on that momentum. Still the ball's up. There's a shot. It's in there. Mr. Low having to make a save. Get someone from Lost Legion keep this up. A nice attempt there, but denied on the goal line. Out of retirement, pick up their second game and take it to not just series, but entire qualifier point here against Lost Legion.
Yeah, well, that was absolutely massive. I only got to join the back end of it, and wow, it doesn't look like the action has relented during my exodus. So it seems like these teams are just going to keep on going. Out of retirement, looking pretty good. I mean, actually being able to net in around about 11 shots.
11 shots. Look at that percentage difference between these two teams. The fact that we only saw a total of 5 coming out from Lost Legion. Lost Legion didn't have control of that game. They looked to be aggressive. That's what they tried to step it up to do. But out of retirement, shutting them down by good positioning, good rotations. Eventually, like we touched on earlier, draining those resources. And I mean, Lost Legion doesn't have the space to get their plays going. When they've got an opportunity like this, they look good. But out of retirement, completely suffocated that possibility out in the previous game.
Yeah, a little bit of mistiming coming from the out of retirement team early on there. And this put them on the back foot initially. However, they consolidate their position and allow themselves to build up from the back again. It's going to be Lion pinching this one up towards the left-hand side. Let's see if the parallel passes are going to come to play. I was so impressed a little bit earlier on from Snoozy.
Oh, I like him coming through with the save on the goal line there, Mr. Low. Finding it up in the air and getting the dribble across. The touch from Mr. Low goes straight from offense to defense. The two of them fencing across the field right now. And again, it gets turned away. Riposte at the last second coming out from out of retirement. Turning it around, parries it off, goes for the counter attack. And the ball clashing back and forth across the field. Hasn't touched the ground in so long. And these two teams now hands it off to Lakem. Defang now stands scrambling backwards. No boost. That has Mpisampi in reserve. Lost Legion put on an aggressive attack. They put on a potent attack. Defunct picks up that pass. Mpisampi running out of boost there. Gets a nice touch across there. Defunct reads it beautifully.
Yeah.
Finds the goals wanting.
Yeah, I love that play from Defunct. Just saw that his teammate was losing slight control over the ball. Said, you know what, I got this. Uses that to essentially put their opposition on the back foot, and here we go, Lost Legion with 1 goal, and it's going to be a demo coming in, almost doubling their lead as out of retirement caught slow in terms of recovery from that initial goal.
Oh, and there's some cracks starting to show here. Out of
Yeah.
Retirement has been messing up a couple of their hits. Lion messed up a couple in the previous games. Now Snoozy been such a important playmaker for the side. Needs to get good touches. This isn't a huge one. Would have liked to push that towards the center. Instead, does manage to find Mr. Low and manages to set up a counter attack. I'm not sure this is what Snoozy was planning when he got that touch in the beginning, but Mr. Low yet again carrying his teammate up onto his shoulders, and Defunk there hesitating a little in the first challenge opens up that tiny window for Mr. Low to charge back into this.
There we go, Mr. Low not going to be able to give up, and at the moment out of retirement, this is when they start to turn on a little bit. That backboard comes into play, and it's going to be a minor deflection coming in here from Lost Legion, but the backboard is kind of where they've reigned supreme time and time again. A lot of their goals coming from that placement, either a direct backboard placement, or they do the parallel pass, and we're going to have to wait and see. This one is not over yet, and it's going to be a oh, Mr. Low, you beauty!
Yeah, you know, air dribbles, flip resets, these sort of plays weren't really the norm when it came to when Out of Retirement used to be in this game. And one of the questions I've always asked is, are they able to start picking up some of these more advanced mechanics? And Mr. Low there doing such a good job picking it up there, carrying it across the field. And you can see, certainly baited out Lost Legion. They did not expect those extra couple of touches, dedicated early towards it. And Out of Retirement, when they're ready on a game series qualifier point, managed to pick it up. They've set themselves in a dangerous position, though. This could turn around quite quickly, and they need to pick it up, and Defect doesn't manage to be able to pick up any sort of demo there.
Yeah.
Instead, it's Mr. Low gonna set it up. Out of Retirement would love to capitalize on this and extend their lead further.
That is a huge defensive play coming in there from Alaikum, I believe that was. And now on the defensive side, Out of Retirement are trying their best to be able to stay up. It is going to be a top positional placement coming in from Mr. Low, the back flip coming in. But it's all a bit precarious in front of this goal line at the moment, as it's Lost Legion that need to turn this game around. They need the reset. They need to come up with the reverse sweep. But at the moment, it's Out of Retirement that keeps the press forward.
Yeah, and this is the pressure play that's coming in. This is the old school styles of just keep the ball in your opponent's net. Keep your rotations going so that every time they try and clear it out, you're there. You can pick it up. You can turn that possession back to yourselves and keep the momentum going your way. Lost Legion trying to get it across the other side of the field. Don't really have a built-up play sitting on their sides yet, and instead have to again worry about that oncoming onslaught of Out of Retirement. There is such a relentless pummeling of the backline. Him tries to find something here, does get his body in the way, but opens it up. Snoozy going the long way down the field. There's one more second. Is there Mr. Low? He doesn't find it. Out of Retirement with a minute 12 seconds left on this, may have just secured the grand finals for themselves.
And Snoozy doing so much of the hard yards, and Mr. Low just ready and waiting, saying, you know what, if you trip up, if you don't have enough boost, I'm right here behind you. And there we go, Retirement double their lead now, as essentially they double their gold advantage, 3-1 in favor of them. And it doesn't look like they're gonna slow down just yet. If there's a time to pick up momentum, a time to put this one to rest, it is Out of Retirement doing the best to do exactly that.
I love the synergy there. It's been Snoozy being the one, being the playmaker constantly throughout this series, and this time managing to pick off such a good pass from Mr. Low, challenging off that kickoff, and it just gave Snoozy a bit of time to get on the goal scoring line. And he's probably the highest assists player in this game so far, but now at least being able to turn it around, and eventually takes a demo for his actions, a demo for his goodwills. It seems like Lost Legion a little bit tired of what he's able to wreak in the front lines, and wants to just give themselves a respite, and now use it to turn around. Him gonna pick it up. 2 goals, 40 seconds.
We asked ourselves the question a little bit earlier on, could it be done? 2 goals in 40 seconds, we've seen it done with less. So now Lost Legion, a test of resilience, a test of might, and a test for them to see if they can fight their way back in. Let's see what happens here. It is the all-important kickoff.
I'm sure there's going to be a lot of fans from Lost Legion sitting in the chat now, believing, cheering for their team. This is Spirit Bomb energy time, guys. If you're ever going to pull it out now, these two teams do have a ticket still to that LAN finals, but they really are fighting for the position to not have to take on the incredibly strong Orlando Pirates team. So far, it seems like Lost Legion going to be forced down into that second seed position out of this qualifier, and effectively coming in 4th seed for that grand finals, that LAN in Cape Town, could leave them in a dangerous, difficult position. They're not a team that has shown resilience against the sort of pressure that they can build up. And it seems like with the time ticking down, even if Lost Legion is able to pick up this consolation goal, they are going to be able to do it. But they're still one short, out of retirement, going to be able to take this in a 3-game-to-1 victory in the grand finals.
All right, there we go. Lost Legion essentially will go on to face Pirates XD as your very first fixture of the showdown. And what a series that is going to be. Then after that, we've got BVD taking on Out of Retirement. Ladies and gentlemen, if there was a time to get your tickets, the time is right now. I hope to see you all there. It's going to be a crazy series, but can I just say, Out of Retirement, Lost Legion, I know it's a little bit of a consolidation here for Apex, but what a night of Rocket League they've given us.
I cannot believe that out of the 3 series we just watched, I think there was 1, maybe 2 games that was a difference of more than 2 goals. I think it was 2 series, right? Because the rest of it was so close. It doesn't matter. Don't look at the eventual scores, guys. Yeah, Out of Retirement, Lost Legion qualifying. But at the end of the day, the individual matches that these teams played were neck and neck. We saw Lost Legion taking a 2-goal lead twice in that first game and not being able to capitalize it, not being able to hold on to that pressure. And it's going to be interesting to see how that translates to the big stages, ladies and gentlemen. We have, at the end of next week, a LAN finals. Top 4 teams have gone through, and I must admit, I worry for Lost Legion at this stage. There was some shakiness from both these sides tonight, both teams missing a couple of those shots, and you're going against big oppositions on the other side.
I know we're talking about having a couple of Twinkies a little bit early on, but I don't know if your one had a little bit of a shortening potion, because you seem to have dropped down. There we go. But yeah,
it's green as well, which is fantastic. So
you're changing colors. It's fantastic. But as you mentioned, we've got a huge series ahead of us. We're joking aside, it is going to be an epic day of Rocket League ahead of us. I can't wait to see some familiar faces, but also some new ones in the scene.
Yeah.
Rocket League is growing in South Africa, ladies and gentlemen, and it's going to be able to be a huge opportunity to see that growth firsthand, and who knows, the potential stars of esports in South Africa of tomorrow being represented at that event. I know one star that I'll be seeing face to face is that side, and I know you're going to be casting alongside Papa Capes. How are you feeling? I mean, going back to LAN environment.
I cannot wait. Half of these guys I've known for years, having shared a beer with people like Papa Capes. It's been fantastic to be able to just interact with these guys, get to see them. Papa Capes' energy is going to be explosive, as is his temperament in games. And so I can't wait. Like, there's going to be the crew behind it, the crowd coming through. Like Nick's been saying the whole night, guys, if you are in the Western Cape, even if you want to make that journey, make a weekend of it, come down from a different province. If you love South African Rocket League, this is the time. It has never looked this strong. I've been doing this since the beginning, whether it was competing in these games or casting at Comic-Con or Rage. This year feels like the biggest year so far. The level of Rocket League that we built to, we're starting to embrace international quality talents as both players, casters that I've spoken to, love the scene, the tenacity of the scene, and that energy is going to come through next weekend.
Yeah, next weekend is where it's going to be going down, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure that you are there or tuned in, get your comfy snacks. But a big thanks and a big shout out has to be said to Level Fox for putting together the showdown, making sure that this is happening. City of Cape Town taking care of business, making sure that we're safe, but also having some fun at the same time. Further than that, Celsi keeping us connected throughout the experience. Ladies and gentlemen, I think at that point in time, it is time to get ready for the 25,000 Rand that is going to be up for grabs. We're going to get the details of the teams, make sure that they're all ready to go. Mike, it has been an absolute pleasure, as always, to cast with you, my friend. I can't wait to watch it and hear it go down in Cape Town. From myself, Nick Holden, and the rest of the ACGL family, I think this is where we bid you adieu. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Much love, and we'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.